Hi, this is Hilari,
And Anna Maria.
reporting under the marquee on our first impressions of Goosebumps. And I have to say, I liked it better than I thought I would going in. The two things that I was afraid of for this movie, having seen the trailer, were that the plot would be kind of a one monster after another, and I was afraid that the dialogue wouldn't be good. And the plot, I have to say, really was kind of one monster after another. But the dialogue pleasantly surprised me. It was really fun. What did you think?
I have to agree with you. I really enjoyed it, much more than I was anticipating. I was afraid that it would be as slight as some of the Goosebumps books are, and I have to confess I'm not a huge fan of the Goosebumps. But this was pleasantly surprising. I really enjoyed it. Let's go back to my place and talk it over. At first, Zach isn't happy about his mother's new job, which has forced them to move from the big city to a small town. That is, until he meets his new neighbor, Hannah. But the house next door has a secret, and Hannah's father warns Zach to stay on his side of the fence. Then one night he hears Hannah scream. When he gets the police to investigate, Hannah's father convinces them that everything is fine. Even Zach's mother doesn't believe him. If Zach is going to save Hannah, he's going to have to do it himself. He calls in Champ as his wingman, and together they sneak into Hannah's house. A noise draws them upstairs to a bookcase in the study. Champ recognizes the titles on the books as belonging to the Goosebumps series. Zach's neighbor is none other than the famous author R.L. Stine. Hannah surprises them in the study, and in the confusion, Zach accidentally opens one of the books, releasing the abominable snowman of Pasadena. In fact, not only one monster is released. All of the Goosebump monsters escape from their books and descend upon the town. Worse still, their books are destroyed so the monsters can't be sucked back into the pages. If they are going to save the town, Zach, Hannah, Champ, and Stine will have to write a new ending to the horror story they're trapped in. Okay, so what did you like about the movie?
Okay, the thing I think was my favorite is the dialogue. The last movie we saw, the dialogue was pedestrian and flat, and this one, it really worked. The kids had great snark, but it was smart snark and not stupid snark. And they were intelligent. It was intelligent dialogue. It was funny dialogue. R.L. Stine had some pricelessly wonderful lines. I think my favorite was where I think it was Zach who asked him, "Why don't you write about rainbows and unicorns?" And he replied, "Because rainbows and unicorns wouldn't sell 40 million copies."
No, 400 million.
400 million copies.
Yeah.
Whereupon Champ said, "Domestic?" And he said, "Worldwide, but that's still a really good number." It was just wonderful. I really enjoyed the dialogue. And the character arcs actually worked pretty well, too. A little slight on the character arcs, but not too slight. So what did you like?
I loved all the kind of insider jokes for authors.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that part.
Two children's book authors,
It was quite fun. And I loved when Jack Black, who plays R.L. Stine, is trying to write, and time is of the essence in writing, and he, of course, has to edit while he's writing. Rips out a page and starts over again. I mean, that was just priceless during the climax. It was quite fun. I liked the fact that they were all really smart characters, and they had good reasons for the things that they were doing. It made sense. There were some twists that I didn't see coming, so I enjoyed that too.
Okay, so what didn't you like?
Okay, well, there were a couple of coincidences in there, in the way they were rescued twice, that bothered me a little bit. I'm willing to let one coincidence go by, but two coincidences, they're smarter ways of doing things. It was a little sloppy for that. It's kind of like when I always like the characters that get themselves out of trouble, and they did with the climax. Climax totally worked. The ending totally worked. But leading up to that, the two coincidences, the second one really started bothering me. And even though they gave kind of a lame excuse for why it happened that way, I didn't buy it. So How about you? What didn't you like?
The plot actually is a little slight. Like I said, the one thing I was afraid of going in was the one monster after another thing. And really, after the beginning, when the monsters start getting out of the books, the whole thing is just kind of one long monster chase, attack, monster, more monster, more monster, more monster.
But the monsters were creative, though. They weren't your run-of-the-mill monsters.
Well, they were Goosebump monsters.
I know, but that was fun. I did like the monsters.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
And I have to say, they had some fairly creative way for getting rid of the monsters that made sense, too. So, yeah, when they couldn't... And just the fact that they couldn't put them back into the books the way
that was a
they
nice
were supposed
touch.
to was a nice twist. So,
what age range would you put this at?
in some ways, that's a little tricky. It's definitely too scary for little kids.
Yeah.
8 and up? Older than that?
Maybe 7 might be able to. If their scare factor.
Yeah, depends on how much they don't mind or do mind monsters.
Because I think, most of the Goosebumps, I was going to say Goosebump books, I think are from 7 and up, aren't they?
I'd have said 8 to 12. And actually this movie, I'm not sure older teens would necessarily care.
Probably not as much.
I'd put the age range at about 12 to 13, 14.
Yeah. And adults will enjoy it.
And adults will enjoy it because
there's not enough there for teenagers to enjoy them.
Yeah, for older teens it would be too young.
Too tame for older teens. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so how many tickets do you give it?
I'm going to give it 3.5 tickets. It was a fun movie. Families are going to enjoy it. Adults and kids both. It doesn't quite make it to 4 tickets for me.
For once we exactly agree. It's a 3.5 ticket movie. The slightness of the plot drags it down a little. It's predictable too, it has to be said. But the dialogue raises it to 3.5 tickets. It had good dialogue, and for me, I forgive a lot for good dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's our review. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave us a comment. Let you know what you think of it. And
we'll see you at the movies. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.